What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Today, what I wanted to talk about was why I am happy that I didn't start smoking until I was 18. I just thought I would explain it. So, a few years back, call me Kendrick, but I was weed's biggest hater, big time. It was pretty bad. I hated it. Never wanted to do it. Would always be like, I was always judging people who did. It was bad. I was weed's biggest hater. It really was. And honestly, I don't even know where that stemmed from. It stemmed from being very close-minded when I was younger. When I was younger, I was pretty close-minded. I still say I'm younger as if I'm fucking 34 when I'm 19. Younger for me was 3 years ago. But what's I saying? Oh yeah. Yeah, so I was not a fan at all. And as I got around, I would say, the 17th mark was when I started to get a little curious. But I still wasn't going to do it. But at the time, when I turned 17, I was starting to consider it. My biggest hesitation was, I don't want to get addicted to something. And have to rely on it. That's something that I never wanted. Because I know some people who, they need it, you know. I never wanted it to be a need, whether it's for sleep, whether it's for anxiety. I've always been the type of person, you know, I want to deal with it on my own without assistance from something else, whether it's a substance or, you know, a medication or something like that. Obviously, unless I'm sick, you need a medication. But anything as far as emotions like anxiety, depression, loneliness, I try to tackle it internally. I don't want to run into something because I feel like overall that's not good in my opinion. I think it's more powerful when you really figure it out yourself, and it tends to stick with you more. But we're getting off topic. So I decided, you know, all right, I don't want to get addicted. So I still wasn't doing anything. And I was around, to give you guys, I've always been around stoners. Most of my friends, most of my high school really was big time stoners. And it's normal. It's not even like, you know, it's normal. I was the odd one out. I was the only one out of my friend group. That's a lie. There was another person, but me, there was two people in our friend group, including myself, that did not smoke at all. Now, when I turned 18, I started going through a more open-minded character arc, so to speak. I started telling myself, like, why am I being so strict about everything? Because it wasn't even just weed. It was alcohol. It was kind of everything. Life experiences, partying. Didn't want to do any of it. And I was thinking to myself, like, why though? Why am I being so strict on myself, robbing myself from experiences? And I thought to myself, at the end of the day, life is short, you know. I feel like as long as if I don't vape, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't, you know, do cocaine or any hard drug, if I just stick to weed and shrooms, and even as long as it's occasionally, nothing too crazy, you know, I'm not fiending all day, what's the point? Like, why am I being so strict? I was even strict with, remember because I talked about it in the previous car talk, I was even strict when it came to relationships. None at all. So during this character arc, I was going, you know, I was, you know, telling myself, like, why am I being so strict? I'm just robbing myself of life. At the end of the day, life is short. So I decided, all right, you know what? I'm open to weed. I'll be open to it. I'll be open to a relationship if it comes by. And I started becoming more open to things. And I didn't... When was the first time I smoked? First time I smoked was summer after I turned 18. It was the summer. Hit a cart for the first time. Didn't feel anything. But I also didn't do it properly, so it's most likely why. But then I hit a blunt for the first time later in the day, and that I felt. I'm not gonna lie, I hate blunts. I can't fucking stand blunts. It's more just the cotton mouth thing that I don't like. I don't like it at all. I have to drink a shit ton of water, and it's not, I hate it. Later that year, I tried bongs the first time. That was great. I actually, don't get me wrong, I got very fried, but I preferred it way more than the blunt. Now, fast forward to now, I have a pen, and the pen's been my favorite out of all of them. It's just out of convenience and smell. That was one thing the other thing is, my mom, because she's very anti-weed, so I didn't, and that's also probably where it stemmed from, but I also didn't want to smell like it, so I thought, well, might as well just not take it. But we went through our character arc. Now I became a much more open-minded individual and on life experiences, and I'm trying hard not to rob myself. Like, a lot of things I'll say yes to just to get, sounds bad. I was gonna say just to get the experience, but it depends on the thing I'm saying yes to. But I'm much more willing to do stuff now than I was when I was younger, a few years ago. Last year, the year before that. And I'm honestly, why I say in the beginning that I'm happy that I didn't start till I was 18 is, and this is the second part of the video. It taught me self-control, right? So if I was able to be around a ton of stoners pretty often and never once be tempted, well, not tempted, but never once fully followed through and smoked, it taught me that I don't have to rely on it. And even when I smoke, I do it properly, because I'm aware of, so the type of high I am is not productive at all. I don't get shit done when I get high. Absolutely nothing. So the only 2 times I would get high would be, and that's how it is even today, will either be at Tropical, if I'm doing dishes, not talking to customers, but Tropical when I'm doing dishes, and when I get home after I finished everything. So after I finished doing some real estate studying, after I finished doing yoga, eating, all that out of the way, then I can smoke and get high, and then hop online with the boys. And I have a rule and I place myself a rule if I am gonna smoke, which I am now, but the rule that I also impose on myself is, if I'm gonna smoke, then I have to work out. Now this is pretty easy for me because I was already one to work out, but it more just enforces it, because if I'm not working out consistently, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 4 days a week, then I'm not allowed to smoke. I can't. That's just the rule that I impose on myself. That way, I'm still taking care of my body, even if, because granted, weed isn't that bad for you. It's still not, it's probably still not great for you, even though it has benefits. It also has its cons. but it has its benefits. But out of everything, I figured it's not the worst. And if so, even if I'm getting any negatives, the working out and doing cardio kind of counters it. So that's why I figured. So as long as I'm still eating healthy, still exercising, then yeah, I'll smoke. Why not? You know, at the end of the day, life is short. You know, live a little. At the end of the day, I feel I've been much more as I've gotten older. And again, by really 18, when I turned 18 and after moving out was when I went through my two biggest character arcs. Because 18 was when I went through my open-minding character arc. And then after the whole moving out fiasco, I went through quality of life character arc. So meaning like how much I'm focusing more on enjoying life more than so concerned about optimizing everything so that I live the longest. Because at the end of the day, we don't know how long we're gonna live for, right? So I figured, you know what, let me focus on my quality of life now. Let me do stuff that, you know, makes me enjoy getting up out of bed, doing stuff. That's honestly what made me consider going through on, all right, you know what, I'm gonna also get a motorcycle. Because it's something I've always wanted to do, but I was always too nervous on crashing. But as long as you wear the proper gear, you don't be stupid by, you know, driving 140 miles an hour, swerving through traffic. And I'm only gonna drive it on open roads, you know what I mean? That's what I want it for. So as long as I don't do wheelies and dumb shit, I'll be fine, you know? And then at the end of the day, it's something that I'll enjoy, you know? You want to live life. You want to live life at the end of the day. I don't want to be old and look back at my younger years and be like, I didn't do shit. All I did was work. Like, working's alright. I mean, if you like working, I'm not the biggest fan of work. It is not really my plan, my passion. Honestly, my passion is making these videos. I do enjoy YouTube, and I've started to enjoy. It's kind of why I've been focusing a lot. I've been enjoying talking about more deeper stuff on YouTube, or even to people. Like, I realize I do really enjoy having deep conversations with people. I feel like a lot of people are very uncomfortable with, you know, crossing the threshold and keep conversations very, very surface level. But that's why these car talks, they've been getting a little more serious. I just enjoy talking about, you know, deeper stuff. And when I talk to other people in person, it's cool to hear how, you know, their mind works. You know, what makes them think. You know what I mean? What's their opinions on stuff? But anyways, I will end off this episode by saying I would recommend, if you haven't smoked yet, don't do it while you're in high school. I feel like you'll benefit a lot more if you just wait until you get at least minimum 18, if not older, because it will teach yourself more discipline, and you'll have overall more self-control so that you're not relying on something. That's what I wanted to end off with. And if anybody's peer pressuring you, that's not cool. Just remember that. I was lucky I had friends who didn't really care. So they never peer pressure me. They would offer, but after one no, they declined. But never be peer pressure. That's bad. Don't do that. Just don't even listen to them. Don't even be their friend, because that's not cool. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a good one. See ya.